food truck, this is now 5 years. I came from, kind of fine dining before I got into this. So this is pretty much my life. I live right here. I don't have any food on it at the moment, it's empty. But this is what I do all the time. I just want to be able to make pretty food on a pretty plate again. Honestly, I had applied for like Chopped once, but then with Guys Grocery Games, they pretty much reached out to me. It was a really cool experience, but then the day that it happened was just such a blur. Getting to interact with some of these well-known chefs. I mean, we had an Iron Chef on the panel, and she had lots of very complimentary things to say. Simon said he would buy my dish again just to lick the sauce off the plate. It's a pretty big deal coming from somebody as well known as them. I try to think that that's par for the course. Pretty much everybody wants to lick the sauce off the plate. My goal at this point is to be able to have a place to put food on the table, so my neighbors and my community here in Berea have a place to go and enjoy some good food. I've been doing this a long time, and it's nice to have a little validation every once in a while.
A big game against Tennessee tonight, and fans out here are so excited. We've talked to so many tailgaters, and each person has their own different setup. Every tailgate is unique, so we wanted to ask them what it takes to have the perfect tailgate. What is the perfect recipe for a successful tailgate? What does every successful tailgate need?
Well, you need some southern home-cooked goods. You need some ribs, you need some mac and cheese is always good, beans and bacon, just whole hearty food.
Good food, some good drink, but most importantly, you need good friends to come with you. We have a place to get warm if it's cold, we have a television, we have music.
I'm gonna say 3 things. You're gonna need some good catch fans, because we got a bunch of those. We didn't think we needed, but we do need TV, and you need a lot of cold beer and good food. You got those, throw a dub on top of it, and the ride back to Louisville's gonna be a great one.
But all the tailgaters we talked to told me all you need for the perfect tailgate at the end of the day is good friends. In Lexington, Catherine Collins, LEX 18 News.
It's the reason we're here. It's the origin of our existence.
My dad and my brother both were miners.
My dad too. That's what we do here.
In the hills of eastern Kentucky, Harlan County was established 200 years ago.
This is truly one of the most beautiful places in America.
But it was the resource deep in those beautiful mountains that put this place on the map in the early 1900s, King Coal. Towns were built overnight, homes, schools, hospitals were constructed, and thousands of men went to work underground.
Mining is our bloodline here, and it's how our families make a living. It's how they pay their bills. It's how they raise their kids.
As coal companies boomed and busted over the past half-century, some miners have left Harlan County, but many families have stayed. Will Stanton says that he has been through more mine shutdowns than he can count.
7 or 8, yeah. It's on average about once every 2 years anymore. That's just part of it.
No pay! No pay!
This summer, Stanton and hundreds of other miners were laid off when the Black Jewel mine in Cumberland shut down. They had money taken from their bank accounts, money they had earned.
When this first happened, we just basically lived day to day trying to figure out what's going on.
Once word spread that Black Jewel wanted to move coal that they had mined, protest began on the tracks outside of Cumberland. One that began with a few miners, including Jeffrey Willig, and it quickly grew into a summer-long campout along train tracks.
I think we took a stand. It's definitely put a spotlight on bad coal operators.
A stand that united an already tight-knit community.
We come together, we're like a sisterhood now. They've always had their brotherhood, but now we have our sisterhood.
With the support of his wife, Will Stanton is now looking for his next underground job.
It's what we all know around here. It's what we all love. I know a lot of guys down here went to truck and going back to school and all that, but most of us, we're going to go back to mining. It's what we love.
For Paula Smith,
it's scary. It is. You just don't know.
The future seems more uncertain. Her husband is a veteran of the industry and, like Stanton, wants to return.
It's scary, but you have to take chances in life. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You just hope and pray for the best outcome with it.
King Coal was the reason thousands of families moved to the Tri-City area of Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch 100 years ago. The history is being restored. In Lynch, Portal 31 reopened as an underground mine museum, and the local government has worked with ministries.
We're going to see a lot more efforts like this
to restore old buildings, including Lamp House Cafe, that revolve around the mine.
This was the coffee shop in the 1950s. It served as the restaurant for the coal miners.
Just up the road in Benham, an old company store was transformed into Kentucky Coal Museum, dedicated to the heritage and history of an industry that brought hard workers around the world to Harlan County. Workers like Jeffrey Willig, who moved to the mountains from Baltimore 1 decade ago to dig coal.
Believe it or not, coal mining is, it's a good job, and when you're deep in a mountain like that, it's actually peaceful.
However, he now considers his mining career finished. He's going back to school and wants to learn fiber optics.
I'm just tired of, worrying if I'm going to have a job, depending on a president or depending on, if this operator is a good operator. It's sad because I know it has a very deep history here. I admire the history in coal mining. I admired it a lot.
It's a history that goes beyond the mines and beyond the museums, but in the people who built and stayed in this community, one of resilience and strength.